Hey, what's happening? I'm Tommy C. This is Shot from the Point News. We're going to cover some entertainment news with Chris Pratt. Apparently, my man did not join the rest of the Avengers cast in a fundraiser. Then a poll went out saying who is the worst Chris in Hollywood. Chris Pratt won over a lot of assumptions over his political views. Of course, he is a devout Christian. The Avengers assembled, and they actually defended him. I'm here with Verse, Nick DiOrio, Dr. Zhivago, and Vault. Have any of you guys actually heard of this story?
Yeah, when I woke up, I saw what was all happening on Twitter.
And
didn't really know why.
The funny thing is, I don't know that he's ever went out and made some sort of, and so what if he did, made some sort of support for Trump or Republicans in general. The only thing we do know about him is that he is or claims to be a devout Christian. Robert Downey Jr. said, "The sinless are casting stones at my brother, Chris Pratt, a real Christian who lives by principle. He has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude, and he is married into a family that makes space for civil discourse. Just plain fact, insists on service of the highest value. If you take issue with Chris, I got a novel idea. Delete your social media account. Sit with your own defects of character, work on them, and celebrate your humanness." And he adds Chris Pratt and got your back. Hashtag got your back. I think this is what this goes into is Chris was in a marriage when he initially got famous. And we've seen this with a lot of Hollywood guys before. The marriage broke up. He got involved with something else or someone else. Another situation, and that certainly wasn't a problem in 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16. But since Chris hasn't shown up for this Biden fundraiser, now the pressure's on, and we're going to sort of criticize him for getting a divorce.
Yeah, pretty much.
Getting a divorce. To me, I mean, look, the life of the Hollywood, the life of the wannabe Hollywood star is a lot different than the Hollywood star. It's 24/7 where you're, maybe in LA trying to make a couple bucks here and there. You might have enough time to spend your family. And, when you marry into something like that, you don't know what it's like to be, you didn't sign up for this. So I'm not blaming his ex-wife either. But I just think the fact that they're bringing this up years after it happened, marriages fall apart. And sometimes they fall apart for people's employment. And this seems to be another case. Mark Ruffalo, who I normally wouldn't want defending me because he's brain dead. Pratt is a solid man. I know him personally, and instead of casting aspirations, look how he lives his life. He is not overtly political as a rule. This is a distraction. Keep your eyes on the prize, friends. We are so close now. So Ruffalo, I think it's, if they're going to say he's devout Christian, Ruffalo's a devout liberal. And he still has no problem with Chris. This is, I don't know. It's pretty freaking lame. James Gunn, he's also a person that has been canceled in the past, and he found time to stick up for him. And going back to Robert Downey Jr., all these guys, all these people are flawed people. I don't know about Mark, but all these people are kind of like really flawed people. And I to sit there and bring up his failed marriage seems to be kind of lame.
What was this thing with the failed marriage, though? Is it like, oh my God, I can't believe my movie star husband is spending too much time doing movies?
I don't.
If I'm not mistaken, they were together for I think 10 years almost.
Yeah.
Well, honey, we did it. Now it's time to quit. Like, get the fuck out.
Well, I'm going to stick up for the ladies on this one. Nobody knows what it's like to get famous. She didn't marry into that, and maybe they just went their separate ways. This happens all the time. I know there's allegations. None of them ever proven that he was running around with other women or flirting with other women. I guess that would make him a bad guy. But, considering 2 out of 3 marriages fail, most marriages experience at one point in their life, statistically, one of the 2 partners venturing into cheating. And, it's really funny. I don't see Chris Pratt telling me not to cheat. I don't see Chris Pratt telling me not to get divorced. I don't see Chris Pratt.
I feel like there's so many other things to be upset about. Like, why do I care if celebrity A is sleeping with celebrity B, or somebody cheats on their husband, or someone gets divorced?
It's not like it doesn't happen in the corporate world or any other. I mean, plumbers cheat on their wives too. This is not, and for all we know, he didn't cheat. the marriage fell apart. And I'm not going to dump on his ex-wife either. Maybe she thought fame would look like this, and it looked another way, and it didn't work, and they had to go their separate ways. So, you know that happened. I mean, I don't know.
Look, if I was getting canceled in Hollywood, I'd be glad it was over a divorce. The amount of other things that seem to go on in Hollywood. This is like one of the most wholesome cancelizations I've ever seen.
Yeah, yes, but I was thinking,
they call him the worst Chris in Hollywood. I feel like if you go down the list of people who are accused of a sexual crime, I'm sure you'll find a Chris in Hollywood.
yeah, oh, absolutely.
Keep walking.
So, but I really think, I think the way Nick is looking at it is on the surface. I think what it really comes down to is politics. And it seems that his cast members can handle him having a different political point of view, if he even has one. I don't know that he has a different point of view. And I really just think it really shows the intolerance of the blue check marks and the intolerance of anybody looking at things a different way or coming on the other side, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. This is the nature of the country nowadays. Yeah, it's for everything. And in fairness, I know Trump supporters that are much the same way. Oh, you're voting for Biden, you're a horrible person. Well, people, might have some nuanced reasons for doing so. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't not invite somebody to my house. I would not cancel a relationship. I wouldn't cast out a family member.
He's a Trump supporter because you said that he skipped fundraiser. That he skipped a fundraiser. What you didn't say is that he skipped a fundraiser with Kamala Harris.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So he didn't go to that. So everyone's going, "Wow, I can't believe he's a Trump supporter." He's even publicly on record said that he doesn't support the Democrats or the Republicans.
Oh,
the divide.
Well, he's even worse. He supports God.
No, it's because he likes God. He likes guns. He kills his own animals so he can eat.
He said to Men's Fitness in 2017, "I don't feel represented by either side. I feel like there's a common ground, but that's missed because we focus on things that separate us."
Exactly.
Well, let me go back to, I've met a lot of people that grow up down south in the Bible Belt area, and I do run into these very religious people that don't really get involved in politics. Their politics are somewhat in the church, and sometimes it supersedes their patriotism. It's God first. It's God for everything. I've met guys in the Army like that. God comes before all else, and while it might be difficult for somebody like me to understand that, there are people in our country that don't really fit in the pegs and round holes of New York City and Los Angeles. We have very different people out there, and I think this is kind of sad. And I think it. Oh God, I'm going to use the word toxic. I think it kind of it reveals the toxicity of the blue check mark. It highlights cancel culture and just how sick it is, and a real lack of tolerance that we're seeing about just Americans in general.
Tom, you got time for one more allegation?
Sure.
The other one that I'm seeing all over Twitter is that he's anti-LGBTQ.
He must be.
First of all, that's not even the allegation.
Yeah.
The actress Ellen Page last year accused his church of being anti-LGBTQ, and his response was to say those claims are completely untrue. Nothing can be further from the truth, and that I go to a church that opens their doors to absolutely everyone.
Her character sucked on Umbrella Academy anyway.
Well, then what's anti-LGBT? I mean, I don't know of too many, unless there's some kind of sect that are I don't want to say intolerant, but there's a difference between tolerate and approval. They don't approve of gay marriage. They don't approve of gay relationships, but they're not saying like, oh, you can't come in here, or I'm going to discriminate against you, subjugate you, or something like that. That's maybe his church doesn't agree with the modern sort of Hollywood philosophy, but I mean, I think that even highlights more just a complete lack of intellectual diversity in Hollywood and, again, the country in general. So, all right, that's all we got for you with Chris Pratt. A comment, like, share. I would appreciate that. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.